Hey guys, welcome to the Hidden Prospects podcast. We're here with Stefan, the founder of the Heat Check YouTube channel. Stefan, thank you for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
So if you guys don't know Stefan, he's the founder of a Heat Check YouTube channel with 550,000 subscribers. And he's from Macedonia, a country right next to us in the Balkan, our fellow neighbor. And we just want to shout him out for what he's doing and the work that he's putting in and bringing recognition to the Balkan.
First of all, thanks for reaching out and thanks for, contacting me to get on this podcast. For sure, like in today's day and age and in the technology era, everyone can try their luck and do their thing. It's more opportunity than ever now. So for sure, guys from Macedonia, guys from Bulgaria, like you guys, hey, they can do their thing, and I'm here to support and share some tips and tricks that I've got along the way.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And we can start off by talking about your upbringing, where you're from, how you grew up, your interests growing up, basketball.
For sure. So I'm in Skopje, Macedonia. Always grew up here my entire life, and of course, as you can probably tell, basketball has been in my life throughout the entire time. But yeah, I've always been like a quiet person, like a shy person, and I still am. And people to this day are still surprised how can you talk in front of that many viewers? You're so shy. But I don't know. I just see it that I talk in front of a camera. I'm in my room, in my zone. So yeah, I'm the most comfortable right here actually. And yeah, growing up in Macedonia, you see the struggle, you see people grinding, but not really being able to live a nice life in terms financially. So I've always known that I would pursue something different. I wouldn't really go after the same through the same path that many before me went, and they're struggling. So I as I told you before we started this podcast, I signed up for economics college, but really didn't see myself there, couldn't find myself there. And I saw that my interests for technology, for computers, took me to watch YouTube tutorials for editing, for for music, for video, for whatever. And from there I started to look for ways to work online, and I found a website, worked for many people, many clients, creating videos, creating intros, animations, stuff like that. And after, I would say, almost a decade, that's been my first and only job that I've really worked in my life, being working online. But my love for video, for recording, for making something that's mine, I'm really having something to stand next to, and also photography. I love photography, and it was like a natural progression for me to go towards YouTube. At the beginning, I started with all different types of videos as a youngster would. But at the end, it was the first love. It was the NBA that I settled on, and here we are.
And how did you get interested in the NBA in the first place? What made you interested into the sport? Did you ever grow up playing it or in a team aspect?
I would say that it was, how do you say, it was passed, it was like given to me from my dad, from
like
my
passed
uncle.
down.
Passed down, yeah, that's the phrase. From my grandfather, uncle, and dad. My dad stayed late into the night. He was a huge jazz fan. He was an underdog fan. When when the whole world was rooting for Jordan, he was rooting for the underdogs. And he kind of instilled that underdog mentality in me, and so I now always root for the weaker teams. But yeah, and from there, watching basketball at a young age, it was only right for me to sign up into, what do you call that? To sign up for a club,
Yeah.
for a team, and I've never been any good, never ever been any good, and it doesn't help that I'm 5'5" in American. That's like 165 centimeters, so that's like Muggsy Bogues territory.
Yeah.
Like that's
That is Muggsy Bogues,
um
like spot on. No, Muggsy Bogues 5'3", a little taller than
yeah,
Muggsy.
yeah, and never got any playing time. I actually always joke about this, that I learned how to spin a basketball on my finger because on the bench that's the only thing you can do. You feel me? And so either that or the thing where you're on the bench, the legs are like this, and you go with the
Dribble
ball
between,
through the
yeah, in
legs.
between them. Yeah.
Yeah, in between. So that's two of the things that I really know how to do. But yeah, it was a lot of fun just to have the camaraderie. And when I listen to basketball players, the retired ones, they always say, I miss the camaraderie, I miss the friendship, I miss the
Mhm.
jokes. That's what I miss from when I was younger, on a team. And so yeah, didn't have a lot of playing time, but I had a lot of fun.
Are you still involved with like coaching or anything in Macedonia right now, or no?
No, I'm not. Honestly, it's not fair for me to say that I'm anywhere near to the knowledge of coaches. I really do break down videos, but it's a whole different beast. Watching the game, pressing replay, going back, looking at stats when it's live game. That's a whole different ball game. Although, I would love to get like a mentor that's a coach to really um to really open up other angles and other aspects, something that I'm not seeing, for him to show me.
Mhm.
I'm open to that for sure.
Yeah, I
We'll
feel like
see.
we see as fans, we see the game in a certain light, but then if you talk to like a coach or somebody that's been around the game for a long time, they see it totally different. But I feel like your basketball
Definitely.
knowledge is extremely high.
Thank you. I would say it's higher than an average NBA fan, but still ways from a coach's knowledge.
Yeah, and if you could just talk about how you watch games in Macedonia, because it's not like the average viewer that watches the games at night at like 6, 7, 8. If you could just elaborate on how you watch them.
Yeah, the biggest reason why I would say why this channel is the size it is, and why I've had a bit of success here on YouTube, is the fact that I've been watching the NBA out of, solely out of the love for the game, for like, I don't know, close to 20 years. Like I
Mhm.
would stay up, and beg my parents when I was little, hey, can I stay? Can I stay? Growing up, I used to watch a lot of replays because I wasn't allowed to always stay up.
Mhm.
But ever since high school, I would say I've been staying up late at night, and completely changed my sleeping schedule. So I this is not like really something to laugh about and funny thing, and I don't recommend this, but I would watch games, go immediately go to school after Golden State Warriors game, Lakers games. Those are really late here on my end, 7 a.m., 6 or 7 a.m.,
Yeah.
and I would go immediately to school, and then sleep to a class or two.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't recommend that. But yeah, right now I would say I set a hard rule for me to not watch
The
the
West Coast.
Western teams, the West Coast live. I cannot do that anymore. It takes so much energy, and for me to be able to function properly the next day, I can only watch the Eastern teams, and I go to bed at like 4 to 5 at the latest a.m. and I wake up at 11. And from that point on, before going to work, I look at the teams, look at the results. If there's an interesting game that I missed on the West Coast, I would watch that on replay on League Pass. League Pass, I would say, is essential for me. Has been. I've been paying for League Pass for like 10 years, more than 10 years, and it's the best investment of my life. But yeah, whatever I see in the games, I'm like, whenever I notice a pattern, I'm like, what happened there? This player did this, and it's kind of interesting. Let me see. Let me check that if he has a tendency of doing that. And when I see a tendency of doing something, when I see a pattern, I'm like, hey, this is an interesting video. Hopefully, people are gonna be as interested as I am. So I make a video about that, and that's pretty much the process and how I watch the games.
Do you usually watch just one game at a time, or do you watch multiple?
I've tried watching multiple games, and I cannot figure it out. It's usually like I would have two games at the same time, and when those finish, when those end, I'm like, so what did I take away from each game? And
Yeah.
it's usually not a lot, you know. So yeah, I only focus on one game at a time, and it kills me to sometimes on Wednesdays and Fridays there are like 11 games, like 9 games,
Yeah.
and I'm like stuck on one game, and there's this fear of missing out, FOMO. So,
How do you choose
but
which game to watch? Is it just like teams that are interesting or games that you find the most interesting?
yeah, games that I find interesting, usually the better teams, like if it's a derby, if it's a marquee game, I
Yeah.
would watch that. But also every season I have teams that are interesting to me. This year are the Minnesota Timberwolves, even though they didn't start good, the Memphis Grizzlies, I
Mhm.
like the Chicago Bulls. So if they're playing a game that I feel it would be interesting, I would tune into that one. Also, the Knicks, since I'm a Knicks fan, have been for, you know, ever since Jordan retired, because everybody cheered for Jordan. So yeah, ever since the '99 season, I've been rooting for the Knicks, and they also have some time on my schedule. So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the Knicks, how did you, because you said you mentioned that the Jazz was your team and now you're switching toward the Knicks. What brought you to be a fan of the Knicks?
Here's the thing: the Jazz, it's kind of because of my dad,
Yeah,
watching
yeah.
him watch the Jazz. But the Knicks, when Jordan retired the next season, I kind of took it slow. Didn't really know which is gonna be my next team, and towards the end, I can only remember New York playing against Indiana. I've always been a big Reggie Miller fan, so
Mhm.
I had like I was rooting for Reggie, but they knocked them out of the East Finals, and going into the finals, they had Patrick Ewing injured and were a huge underdog playing against the San Antonio Spurs. And I'm
Mhm.
like, hey, I'm doing my thing, the just like my dad did, rooting for the underdog. I'm rooting for the underdog as well, for the Knicks. And they lost badly for one, but I saw something that I loved. I saw a team fighting even though they were undermanned.
Mhm.
Um, I was like, hey, I'm next season running it back. And it's been like that ever since.
Yeah. Every season. You had some good spurts like the Carmelo Anthony era. And now
Here and
nowadays,
there.
now the team's good now. I feel like a lot of young pieces, good
Now
coach.
it's fun. Now it's fun to watch them because there's not like a marquee player, like a real franchise cornerstone, which they paid Randall to be that, they paid him that type of money, but he's not that type of player. But
Mhm.
having Tom Thibodeau be the coach, you always know you're gonna get 110% effort. And to be honest, as a fan, that's all I want to see. So yeah.
How was watching through Linsanity? Did you ever expect something like that?
Wow, that was crazy. And the emotional roller coaster was crazy, because you had the huge spike of him rising from nowhere, but then you had the situation with Carmelo, so now, is he gonna have the ball still, or will Carmelo, take over? And there were these ups and downs throughout that process, but still, I enjoyed the game winners from Lynn, and that whole time I kind of felt that they could win it for the first time ever. I guess I felt that they could win it, and yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, I feel like everyone, like every like diehard NBA fan knows like where they were at when it happened, like how old they were. And for me, like every night when I saw Knicks playing, I'm like, oh, this is like the end of Jeremy Lin. You can't keep doing this. Like you can't keep scoring
Yeah.
all these crazy game winners and scoring like 20, 30 points, however much he scored. And
40, I think.
yeah, and I mean, I think looking back on like the past 10 years or so, I feel like that was like the craziest stretch, like one of the most unexpected things that honestly happened in the NBA.
Yeah, thinking about it, I don't think there was anything similar. Yeah.
There's been like upsets and
Maybe
people,
Jokic coming out of nothing.
but he's been more like a slower progression. It's not overnight like Jeremy Lin, I
Yeah.
would say. Because
In terms of a
no
player,
one knew
no
Jeremy
way.
Lin, who at the start of the season, he was just like the last end of the bench guy, then turned into like the
Yep.
star of the team. I don't know.
Yep.
Maybe in the history of the NBA, it'll never happen again.
Most likely. Yeah.
There was a guy
Yeah.
in the Lakers. Forgot his name. Andre Ingram, I think. I don't know if you remember him.
Oh yeah, the guy from the G League. Yeah, but he had one big game, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was just one game, and it was at the very last game of the season.
I think they were just being
Yeah.
nice to him because he played like 20 years in the G League without like any NBA call up, and
Yes.
at the end of his
Yes.
career, they just called him up just show the
That was a
appreciation.
great story. And he
Yeah.
he delivered honestly. He had a lot of threes. So yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so we can go into the YouTube. You mentioned a little bit about the start. But what do you think like elevated you to go from 0 to 550? What was like the turning point you felt to bring you to that level?
Right. So I had a few breakout videos here and there.
Mhm.
At the beginning, I was trying out all types of content, and I found success with compilation videos. Those were really those gave me the initial pop from almost 0 subscribers to like 20,000, and I still experimented with the content. I had trouble with copyrights early on before I signed my contract with the NBA. But what really clicked for me was I remember where I was and the entire situation. I visited my friend in Belgium.
Mhm.
I stayed with him for like a week, and he was doing his thing for college. He would work at night for college, and I would work for the videos.
Yeah.
And it was come playoff time, and that's the first time that I uploaded a sort of like a breakdown video.
Mhm.
That was the first version of the breakdown videos that I do right now.
Yeah.
And I remember going to bed. It was like 4 or 5 a.m. And remember, as we were going to bed, I told him like, "Hey, I have like a funny feeling about this. It was a good video. It turned out a good video, and the thumbnail was interesting. I have a funny feeling about this." As we get up the next morning, the video is already taking off, as opposed to how my other videos were performing.
Yeah.
And those next few videos had like between 2 and 300,000 views.
Oh wow.
And so I was like, "Ooh, I'm onto something." I continued the playoffs. I had one video with 1 million views, and a bunch of videos with good views, and I ended the season with 80,000 subscribers.
Mhm.
So I go the whole summer. I don't post a video. I don't post a single video. It was like a rough time in my life. I was trying to find myself, personally. And so uh, four I went to Cuba with 4 of my friends. Had a great time there, really recharged my batteries, really put things into perspective. And I was like, hey, I found my niche. I found what I'm gonna do. The videos work. So I'm coming back, and I'm coming back like strong.
Yeah.
I'm going all out. And so I came back with it. I don't feel like I even had 80. I might have had 78,000 subscribers. Season starts, I start making videos, and in 30 or 40 days, I get 80,000 subscribers in 30 to 40 days, because nobody had made those types of videos, breakdown videos with drawing, this player goes here,
Yeah.
this happens, explaining the game. Nobody had done that. And so that was those, I would say, 3 to 4 months is where my growth really skyrocketed. And from that point on, I haven't looked back.
And how do you continue to stay on top of your game and not get burnt out once again?
I gotta be honest, you do have periods when you get tired, maybe burn out. I had a period like that, I guess 2 years ago, because you're close. This is what it is. You see this in my videos, but I spent like, I don't know, when I used to work alone, I would spend close to 12 hours, watching the game and producing videos. I would spend 10, somewhere from 8 to 12 hours doing that. And that can start mess with your, psyche a little bit. And so the breaking point was then, and I knew I had to get some help for my videos to cut the time that takes me to produce a video. And now I have an editor that works with me every day full time, and I have a writer that helps me with some videos, but it's on a video by video basis. It's not an everyday thing. If I have something for him to research, hey, look this up. But yeah, the biggest help is my video editor. And now we have a strict schedule of 2 p.m. to 7 p.m., 5 hours a day we work. And that allows me to get enough sleep in the morning. I sleep, later till 11, as I said. And from 11 to 2, I catch up on some games that I've missed or some storylines. I check Twitter, stuff like that. And yeah, this to me, this right now is the best, what do you call that, working process that I've had ever since I've started. In 4 years, almost 5 years, this is the best that I've had.
Do you see yourself growing outside of YouTube, like going to different platforms like Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook? Because I feel like there's much potential in that for what you're doing.
Yeah. And I've thought about it, and I always go back and forth with it. I would start posting on Instagram, but then stop. I would start tweeting, but then stop. I think it boils down to me being shy. I'm not really a social media person. I'm not really on the phone the entire time. And so the guys that I see on Twitter, for example, that have really a lot of followers and that I read all the time, they have, like, on the night of basketball, they have like maybe close to 30-40 tweets. And for me to tweet that much, that's impossible for me. That's unthinkable. And so right now, I guess not. I guess I'm sticking to YouTube, but I do have plans and visions and some I'm making some plans towards website and towards a company, having a lot of writers. That's the way I'm thinking. I'm not necessarily thinking towards another social media.
Yeah, I feel like TikTok could work for like your videos, like quick 30-45 second analysis and just post. I feel like that could take off.
And I guess it is taking off. Somebody told me that somebody is stealing my videos, so I don't know.
Oh, really? And posting them to TikTok?
Yeah, I haven't really checked that, but yeah, somebody is. And I found a person also stealing my videos on YouTube as well. And I contacted the dude. I'm never like confrontational.
Yeah.
I just reached out to the guy, said, hey, I'm grinding, you're grinding, I respect your grind, but at the same time, you cannot take my work.
Yeah.
um, Focus on creating original content, and people would know you for that, would respect you for that, instead of this way where people are emailing me to tell me that you're stealing my work.
Yeah.
And so I didn't want to what do you call that, claim the video or
Report.
contact YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, report. I don't do that. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is, I guess my videos work on other platforms as well.
Yeah, I was
Right
thinking
now
like
though,
TikTok would be perfect.
yeah, it's modifying the videos for TikTok, means that I would have to spend another hour and a half creating like that perfect
Yeah, you have to
bite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really sure that repurposing it straight away would work. I feel like I would need to create a different original content, which again takes time.
Mhm.
And right now, it's as my friend from Belgium said, and I love that saying. It's consistency over intensity. I'm just, I figure out a way how I can be consistent every day
Mhm.
without burning out, and until I figure out something better, a better workflow, I'm sticking to this.
Yeah.
And what's a fork in the road moment that you've had where you kind of had to pick a road and decide if you want to stay with YouTube or if it's worth your time or not? And have you ever had that decision in your head?
Yeah. I mentioned that I have a story for you guys that I'm
Yeah.
keeping for the podcast. So here's the thing. I was working online on projects, as I mentioned, and I had like a saving on the side, and I decided that I would focus on YouTube, and I would focus my entire energy on YouTube without having to work like 4 hours, 5 hours, six for a client.
Mhm.
And throughout that time, I would film. And okay, I stopped working for others, stopped doing projects, and start um, spending my savings. And so I would say I've been trying things out in different niches for like a whole year, and nothing really worked out. And finally, it was August, I believe 2017, I believe so. I focus on the NBA, and I see that things are okay. At least this is what I've always loved to do. I found a way how to um, make the video, stuff like that. And so I make the videos, but after, this is almost year and a half, almost 2 years since I stopped working. I haven't had any stream of income.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's December of 2017, and I'm really spending the last of my savings.
Mhm.
But looking at YouTube, looking at Reddit, and how they title their threads that get clicks, that get views, I started to figure something out, and I was like, I think I have something here. And I try to do compilation videos with some interesting titles, interesting topics, and I feel like I'm right there, but I don't have any money, like any money at this point. So I call my sister. I say, she lives in the US. And I say, look, I know I could get money from dad, but that would crush him. You know, he's he's looking at me abandoning college, trying this out, which is unconventional, especially for family in the Balkans,
Yeah.
that would really crush him. And so I was like, can you lend me $500? I got this 500 in Macedonia. Like I would live extremely tight, you know, I wouldn't go out. I would eat at home, and it would last me like, I can stretch it to like 2, maybe 3 months. And I wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't buy anything, you know? And so I was like, I only please lend me $500. She's like, hey, for sure, for sure. Hopefully it works out. If you need more, I was like, no, 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 just this. I got it. I got it. I'm telling you, I can feel it. As she's sending me the money, through a bank transfer,
Yeah.
I make a video that night, that same night. I make a video called "The Biggest NBA Transformations," and I put the thumbnail is an image of Steven Adams when he entered the league. He was all clean shaven, you know, no tats, no nothing. And next to him, it was before and after. Next to
Yeah.
him, all tatted up, you know,
The
looking like
beard, yeah, the long
Aquaman.
hair.
Yes. And so I had a feeling about the video. I put it out as I wake up, because I used to always finish my videos at 5 a.m., 4 a.m. I wake up the next day, the video is taking off, like going crazy. And I'm like, what is going on? That video in 24 hours had 1 million views.
Wow.
In I don't know, like 5 or 6 days, in like a week, had a lot of views. And I ended that month. With I'm trying to think how many, close to 5-6 million views, because views trickled down to all my other videos, and the channel started growing. I went from 2,000, 3,000 subscribers to 20,000 in
Wow.
that span, not even a month. And so as I got the money from my sister, I immediately sent those back,
Yeah.
because the payment that I got from YouTube and the way things are in Macedonia financially, I figured that I could live off of that for an entire year. And I was like, hey, if I got another year with what I already know, what I figured out, and with my channel just now taking off, I can do this. And
That's
so
honestly an
yeah,
amazing story.
I get goosebumps anytime I retell it, and I don't tell it a lot. I always look to inspire guys who are thinking about starting YouTube, you know, and by any means, that this is not the way to go. I went all out and spent all my money, you know, trying to make it. But yeah, to answer your question, this was the fork in the road. The doubt has never been in my desire to do YouTube, but financially, I would have had to go back to projects and working for clients and stuff like that. But hey, little sister saved me, and luck was on my side, and here we are.
It was just your destiny. I feel like your destiny to be what you are today. That was like your moment.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
You're like Jeremy Lin moment. You got the chance and you made it big.
I got one chance. Yep.
You got one chance and you made the most of it. Now look where you're at, and that's huge respect from us too. Like for you, the grind and what you've done is mad respect for someone from our area in the Balkan and Eastern Europe to see. I feel like you're one of the most subscribed channels in this region.
Thanks. I feel like there are a lot bigger channels, but hey, I'm just happy with what I got, and I'm proud of how far I've got. When, you know, 5 years ago, if you asked me what will you do, I had no idea, man. I was trying to figure things out, and to be here now and make videos about the NBA for a living, it's just crazy to me. It's just crazy to me, you know, growing up, when people ask you what do you want to be when you grow up, I always said and play in the NBA. You know, of course that didn't happen, but this is damn close to that. I can promise you, this is pretty close to living the dream.
I feel like it's only up from now. What are your goals like in the future? Do you want to eventually, this is like transitioning into like Macedonia, do you want to stay in Macedonia and create like, I don't know, like a company and grow within, or do you want to go abroad and do something?
You know, as far as leaving Macedonia is working as a YouTuber and getting paid as a YouTuber, it doesn't really make sense financially, to be really honest, because it's not like I'm a doctor or a lawyer, and so the salaries are low here, but they would be high in America. I
Mhm.
would still get paid the same regardless of where I am. Having said that, I would love to get a visa first, because I
Yeah.
for Macedonians you need a visa to visit the US, and I would love to stay there for like a couple of months to see how they operate, how they do their thing. But as far as opening a company, I see myself doing that here in Macedonia. The expenses are way lower for that, and I have a big ambition. I haven't really talked about this with a lot of people,
Mhm.
but I'm gonna share it with you guys here. I really want to take the videos to another level, to where I it's almost like I can compete, not compete, but it's almost like they'll look similar to DSP in production, which is saying a lot. I don't even want to sound too confident or cocky or anything. It's just my ambition. I like my videos to be better and better and better,
Mhm.
and I have a clear vision, clear image in mind of how I want my videos to look. And I have some things in the works. I'm planning things out to rent out a bigger space, to where I would be able to make it a better studio with a lot of things, a lot of gimmicks, a lot of technology perks, and yeah, hopefully I'm able to do that soon. And when I am, you'll definitely see the change in quality of the videos.
Dan, we wish you luck with that. And I feel like your quality is already top notch and your production is great. And it's
Thank you so
awesome that
much.
you're doing it like all yourself and with just the team of two. And I feel like there's teams with tens of 20, 30 people that aren't even achieving what you're doing.
Thanks so much. I wouldn't say that, but yeah, I love the chemistry that we have and what we're able to do. Yeah, I love that.
And what do you think are some things what before, like when you started off YouTube, that you didn't know that you did wish that you knew? Like
Yeah,
um just things that you wish you knew when you started off YouTube.
yeah. This is like a message for all the aspiring YouTubers, trying to get on the platform. Some things that I didn't know are that quantity is more important than quality. That's first thing.
Mhm.
When starting out, you are focused on the quality, and you spend time on, you know, working with all the little things of one video and doing this, doing this. You spend a lot of time when it's better to just put the video out and focus on the next one. Put the video out, focus on the next one. The next, you gain so much. What do you call that? You get so much knowledge from every video that you make.
Mhm.
So it's so important to get that repetition. That's first of all. Second of all, title and thumbnail is around 50% of the thing on YouTube. It's so important. And I didn't spend a lot of time on those.
Mhm.
I would just make the video and then quickly scrub through the video, find something that I like, boom, put it out. That's not the way it works. You need like special attention goes to the title and the thumbnail, because people are constantly fed with a lot of videos when they scroll, and for them to stop and click on your video, it would need to take something, you need to get their attention with something. So
Mhm.
once they click, it's all about those first like 10, 15, 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Really tell them what your video is going to be about and try to hook them in with the story that you are going to tell. I never start the videos with hey guys, it's beautiful day outside, it's
Yeah.
sunny, it's like half the viewers are gonna click away by that time. I mean, obviously different types of making a video is gonna be for different niches. I script my videos. I first write a script, and then do the voiceover. But that allows me to make my videos as compact as possible, not ramble, not waste time, and not risk, that my viewers click away. If you have different personality-based type of channel, things might be different. But one common thing is you always want to get quick to the point. Don't waste their time, and have something that is gonna be representative of you. Like have your
own touch.
your own touch to the video. Starting off, people always look to their favorite channels and they grab that, they almost copy their favorite creator, and nobody is gonna watch you for being a copy of a better YouTuber.
Yeah.
If they're gonna watch you, they're gonna watch you for doing your own thing at a different way. And so try to find what's gonna be that different thing that you're gonna bring with your videos.
Yeah. Do you still feel like it's possible to make it on YouTube? Or do you
For
feel,
sure.
or do you feel like since you started a few years ago, that kind of elevates you since it was less like populated with YouTubers and all that?
No. There's always, and I feel like the way the algorithm is working at the moment is it works in favor of small creators that need that exposure. So knowing what you know about the title, thumbnail, about making good videos, you can really be found on YouTube. And this is also another little thing, like a little secret. Like I have a bunch of plans about other channels that I want to open on YouTube. So that's another thing for me that tells you that I don't believe it's about YouTube being oversaturated or not being able to make it. You can always make it on YouTube if you have an original idea and you're sticking with it and you provide something different. And you're what do you call that? Consistent.
Yeah, and I've seen your second channel, the White Kyrie one. I think you started that recently.
Yeah, I started that recently just to test things out. I have a big plans for that one, and that isn't really the channel that I'm talking about. I'm talking about channel in a whole different niche,
Yeah.
But yeah, also on the topic of White Kyrie, I have a clear vision of how I'm gonna make the videos, and we just talked about that with my editor. He's like, hey, are you abandoning it, or what are you doing? Why did you stop? You haven't uploaded for like 10 days. I'm like, hey, I have a clear vision in mind of how I want to make the videos, and I'm working on the infrastructure, whether it's going to be the studio, whether it's going to be the workflow. I'm trying to get things in order, so when I go, there's no stopping, but yeah, White Kyrie is definitely going to be in the works.
Have you thought about like an NBA podcast?
I have I don't know. I'm not sure if I can entertain people for that long, to be honest with you. I don't know.
I think if you do it like a weekly and you touch on different topics that your videos have been on, I think you definitely could.
Yeah, that is something that I go back and forth about, and I would need to find ideally a co-host or like someone to, as I say, to play ping pong. The ball would bounce, boom, boom. To answer your question, yeah, I do think about that. Yeah,
I feel like that'd be a good idea.
for sure. Maybe we could collab then.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe we can collab and do an NBA podcast.
Yeah,
I'd
definitely.
be down. We thought about that too. That'd be really dope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we could
that's
even meet
cool.
up. We could do it in person since we're only a few hours away.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are a few hours away for sure.
So
For sure.
you can come here. We can both go over your place and just do it in person. I feel like it'll probably be better than the virtual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe get
Write
some
this
get some
down.
hosts. Yeah, maybe get some
Yeah.
hosts. We can get maybe Pero Antic, and then I don't know if you know this, the first European basketball player, the first NBA European player to come from Europe is Bulgarian.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What's his name?
What was it?
Gorgi Glushkov.
Georgi Gushkov, yeah.
Uh,
In 1972, he played for the
Oh.
Phoenix Suns.
he only lasted a year because his weight got out of hand. But
Yeah. Because he said
didn't
McDonald's
know this.
attributed to that.
Nice.
and when they ask him, you know how it is in Europe, sometimes this is no and this is yes.
So in Bulgaria, it's
Yeah.
opposite. So it's, I don't know if it's the same in Macedonia.
So they're asking, do you understand like what we're telling you? And he's like, this.
No, he's like this.
Yeah, he's
Yes,
like
he's like this. But it means no in
Yeah, it means
Bulgarian.
no,
It's the
yeah.
opposite. I think it's only in Bulgaria that it's like that.
Wow, that's only in Bulgaria.
Yeah, so like this means no in Bulgaria. This is yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, he's the president of the Bulgarian Basketball, I think, Federation. I think Pero Antic is the president of the Macedonian
Yes.
Basketball Federation.
Yes.
So maybe
Yeah.
we can involve some local guys, and I think it'd be a dope concept.
This is interesting. Hey, write this down.
Yeah.
We should work on this. Yeah.
Yeah, and we can stay in touch.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure.
And just to wrap it up, basically, is there any changes that you see in Macedonia over time, through like
The last 10, 15 years.
yeah, do you see it growing for the positive? How are the young people thinking? Do you think less of them are leaving towards Western Europe and the Western countries? Do you think more of them are inclined to stay?
Unfortunately, it's the opposite. You know, the way I see things, a lot of my friends, like my really, really close friends are going out, and same with my sister, you know. I'm among the minority that chooses to stay here, but hopefully like with the digital age, people can find ways to do business and to thrive in this country as well, because the expenses are, you know, are very low. And
Yeah.
so for you to open up a business, you don't need a lot. Sometimes it's also about creativity. People choose to go abroad and then work like jobs that are like do physical jobs.
Yeah. Same with Bulgarian people that go abroad.
Yeah, it takes creativity as well. I everyone that reaches out to me, I'm here to try to help and try to grow the community. But I don't know. I don't know. Things are not really all that bright right now. Hopefully we can change that. The Balkans overall, I would say there are a lot of positive aspects, but a lot of people are kind of stuck in the past when they really should be looking towards the future and thinking outside the box, thinking of ways to make things better. It takes fight, it takes creativity, it takes, you know, just taking a chance. And guys like you, guys like me, we're here to spread the word and just let everyone know that, you know, this is good territory, good region here. A lot of bright people are here, and you know, there's no need to go abroad and do physical jobs and start all over again without friends, without family. You know, you can just stay here and do your thing. So yeah, I hope to spread the word on that.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. And I feel like you're an inspiration for kids in Macedonia, kids in Bulgaria, kids in the Balkan. I feel like it's good that they can look up to you and see somebody achieving great things at home and staying home and bringing great things to your motherland.
Thanks so much. When it comes to you know, YouTube, the first I'm kind of I'm kind of sorry to say that the first thing that people talk about with YouTube is, the fact that, hey, how much you're earning, how's the finance and stuff like that, when the topic should be the fact that I really work what I love. I
Mhm.
really do what I love doing. And so that then propels me to be more creative, to fight more, to work longer. And from that point on, the finances come. I feel like the thinking is backwards here, at least in Macedonia, where people are first thinking about the money and not the long-term sustainability and whether they would love doing that. And after a while, they will find themselves just feeling just the same as they would work like a physical job or something that they wouldn't love working. So that's one thing that I would recommend aspiring YouTubers
Mhm.
or guys that want to try themselves in on social media. Pick something that you really love, that you could talk about for hours without anyone paying you. That's really the secret, because I stayed up night after night until 6 a.m., 7 a.m. Tell me one thing that you would stay up for that long for free. It has to be something that you really love doing.
They have a passion for it.
So to have a passion for,
Mhm.
absolutely.
I agree with
Yeah,
you 100%. And that's the thing with Bulgarian mindset too. They'll see like a salary abroad in Western Europe or America, and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm gonna leave Bulgaria because I'm gonna go do some physical labor job in the West because it's higher paid." But at the end of the day, it shouldn't be about that. And like the money you're gonna be making there, you're gonna have higher expenses, higher bills, and they don't realize that. And you're away from your home, you're away from your family, friends, and it's a tough life. Like the immigrant life is very tough, and we've seen that with going to America, and it has its positive, but it also has a lot of negatives, and that's why we were inclined to come back to Bulgaria and be home and be around our family and friends, and we feel more a part of a community here than we do in America.
oh, definitely, definitely. Things are so much better when you're with your friends, with your family, your loved ones,
Hmm.
and you only get inspired to continue to do good things, to work hard, to provide for your family, for your friends. When you have someone to spread that with, that's
The best
that's
feeling.
the thing, the
Yeah.
best feeling.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with you about doing something you love because at the end of the day, it's something that you put a lot of time in. Like if you work that physical job or something that you don't like, you just wait for 500 to come so you can leave and just go do something you do like. And with something that you love doing, there's no like time limit. Like you don't get bored of it. There's no like, oh, 5 o'clock I finished. Like you could do it all night and enjoy it.
For sure.
And definitely when you do something you love, I feel like that shows through, for example, your videos or through art, through whatever you create. And it definitely shows that it's something you care about, like there's effort put in, and you definitely like know what you're talking about and are showing your passion to the world basically.
Yeah, and you're not doing it as a job. I see your videos, you're doing them from the passion, like from within. You love the NBA and you want to create this product.
For sure, some of my more interesting videos for the viewers have been something that some topics that I really felt passionate for, and I tried things out and maybe
Mhm.
spent more time making them. But at the end of the day, you see the result, and the viewers really feel that passion, that emotion, and that's the thing that they comment on for my ads, for my sponsored content.
Yeah.
In the middle of my videos, there will sometimes be a sponsored segment for a brand, and
Mhm.
I always that comes from my love of photography, videography. I always want to film it nice, to insert a lot of character, and to be funny, to be well lit, well filmed, to have a nice story, even though it's a commercial, it's an ad. And I love to see the comments, people telling me they notice how much I put into that. And at the end of the day, it always gets back. Whatever you put in, it always gets back one way or the other. I don't know if you guys know Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like online guru or
Inspirational.
whatever, inspirational speaker.
Yeah.
And so from him I learned that that's the path to success, to pick something that you would really love doing. um um Even if it's a conventional job, you know if you need to choose between a higher paying job or a job that would pay lower, but you really love that,
Mhm.
you love every second that you spend there, pick the lower paying job. You spend 8 hours at work. That's a large portion of your day. You want it to be filled with positivity. You want to feel nice there, and when you come at home, you don't want to feel emotionally drained and tired, and even stressed out, as it normally is the case here in the countries in the Balkans. So yeah.
Even everywhere in the world, like in America, people just do the job just to get their salary, and then they're just emotionally drained and exhausted and not in the mood
Right.
to do other stuff outside of work.
For sure.
I agree with you 100%. And I really want to thank you for joining our podcast and being a part of this and being a part of this change within the Balkan. And hopefully we can bring it to light that our people are hardworking, passionate, and there's a lot of positive within our area. And we should all stick together and just keep progressing forward and not view the negativism that there is a little bit, but I think we should look at the positivity and focus on the positive energy that is coming from our region.
Absolutely. Thanks for reaching out, and thanks for thinking that I'm worthy enough to get on this podcast and to inspire other people just looking to start. Yeah, I love what you do. I love inspiring smaller creators or people just looking to start. Hopefully through this platform, we can reach many people, and we can build this and touch somebody that we can maybe change their life with this. So yeah, huge shout out to you guys, and yeah, keep doing your thing.
Thank you so much. Thank you, and I hope you keep growing, and I know you will keep growing, and I wish you great success.
Thanks so much.